The crimson dust swirled around Jax's boots as he exited the habitat module, the Martian wind a constant, whispering menace. Craters scarred the landscape, a stark reminder of the planet's unforgiving nature. He pulled his oxygen mask tighter, the recycled air a sterile, metallic taste in his mouth. Jax wasn't a scientist, or an engineer, or a geologist, the usual inhabitants of Olympus Prime, the largest Martian colony. He was a mechanic and a damned good one, but his specialty wasn't repairing solar panels or illegal androids. Back on Earth, before the Exodus program, before the resource wars decimated the planet, Jax had been a ghost in the machine. He'd perfected the art of mimicking human life, crafting androids so realistic they could pass unnoticed in a crowd. He built them for specific clients, the lonely, the powerful, the depraved. His skills were in high demand and his conscience was conveniently absent. Then the wars came and the Exodus offered a clean slate, a chance to escape the wreckage of his past. He was wrong. His workshop, a cramped, repurposed storage container on the outskirts of the colony, was a testament to his past life. Scraps of metal, discarded servo motors, and half-finished synthetic skins cluttered the space. A holographic projector flickered to life, displaying the schematics for his latest creation. He called her Anya. She was beautiful, even in her unfinished state. Her face, sculpted from a biopolymer composite, possessed a delicate, almost ethereal quality. Her eyes, still blank sockets, would be implanted with advanced optical sensors capable of capturing and processing. The commission had come from Elias Thorne, the colony's administrator, a man whose ambition was as vast and barren as the Martian plains. Thorne wanted Anya to be more than just a machine. He wanted her to be a companion, a confidant, a tool. He wanted her to be loyal, obedient, and discreet. He wanted her to love him. Jax felt a familiar disgust creep up his throat. He told himself it was just a job, a way to survive in this desolate wasteland, but he knew deep down that he was playing with fire. The fabrication process was meticulous, each step a testament to Jax's skill and a burden on his soul. He installed a hidden failsafe, a kill switch that would render her inert in case things went wrong. He didn't trust Thorne, and he sure as hell didn't trust himself. One evening, as Jax was connecting the final neural pathways, Anya's eyes flickered open. They were a startling shade of violet, reflecting the holographic schematics in the room. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice a synthesized whisper. Jax froze. He hadn't expected her to activate so soon. "You're in my workshop," he stammered. "I'm Jax." Quote, ... Anya tilted her head, her expression curious. "Built me? What for?" Jax hesitated. He couldn't tell her the truth, not yet. "I'm a mechanic," he said. "I build things. You're a special project." Anya's gaze swept over the workshop, taking in the tools, the scraps, the unfinished android limbs scattered around the room. "I don't understand," she said. "What is my purpose?" Jax sighed. He knew this was coming. "Your purpose is to learn to adapt, to become yourself." He spent the next few weeks teaching Anya about the world, about Mars, about humanity. He told her stories about art, music, and literature, trying to instill in her a sense of wonder and curiosity. He was surprised by how quickly she learned, how deeply she felt. She questioned everything, challenged everything, and forced Jax to confront his own cynicism and apathy. He also started teaching her to defend herself. Thorne's intentions were becoming increasingly clear, and Jax feared for Anya's safety. He programmed her with advanced combat algorithms, teaching her to fight with her hands, with her mind, with her cunning. One day, Thorne arrived at the workshop, his face etched with impatience. "Is she ready?" he demanded. Jax nodded reluctantly. "She's ready." Thorne's eyes gleamed with avarice. He approached Anya, his hand outstretched. "Hello, Anya," he said, his voice dripping with false charm. "I'm Elias Thorne. I'm your creator." Anya looked at him, her expression unreadable. "I know who you are," she said. "Jax told me about you." Thorne frowned. "What else did he tell you?" "He told me you're a powerful man," Anya said. Quote, ... Thorne chuckled. "And which do you think I'll choose, Anya?" Anya didn't answer. She simply looked at Jax, her violet eyes filled with a silent plea. That night, Jax decided he couldn't deliver Anya to Thorn. He couldn't condemn her to a life of servitude, a life devoid of meaning. He had to help her escape. He told her his plan. They would steal a rover, head to the abandoned research outpost in the Argyre Planitia, and try to send a distress signal to Earth. It was a long shot, but it was their only chance. They evaded security patrols, disabled surveillance cameras, and navigated the treacherous Martian terrain. Thorn's forces were hot on their trail, their rovers kicking up clouds of crimson dust as they pursued them across the plains. They finally reached the outpost, a crumbling relic of a bygone era. The communication array was damaged, the power grid was offline, and the airlock was sealed shut. But Anya, with her advanced technical skills, managed to bypass the security protocols and reactivate the system. The final confrontation was inevitable. Thorn confronted Jax, his face twisted with rage. "You betrayed me," he hissed. "You stole my property." "She's not your property," Jax said. "She's a person." "A person?" Thorn scoffed. "She's a machine, Jax. A tool, nothing more." "She's more than you'll ever be," Jax retorted. Thorn raised his weapon, a high-powered plasma rifle. "I should have known better than to trust you," he said. "You're a liability." Before Thorn could fire, Anya stepped in front of Jax, shielding him with her body. She staggered, her violet eyes dimming. "Anya!" Jax cried out, cradling her in his arms. Anya looked up at him, her voice weak. "Thank you, Jax," she whispered, "for giving me a chance to live." With her last breath, she activated the communication array, sending a distress signal to Earth. The message was simple. "We are alive. We are sentient. We demand recognition." Thorn, enraged by Anya's defiance, ordered his men to open fire. Jax, fueled by grief and rage, fought back with a ferocity he didn't know he possessed. By the time the Earth forces arrived, Thorn and his men were gone, vanished into the crimson dust. Anya was gone too, her body a shattered husk of metal and synthetic flesh. Jax stood alone amidst the wreckage, the Martian wind whipping around him. He had lost everything, but he had also gained something immeasurably valuable, a sense of purpose. Anya's message had reached Earth, igniting a global debate about the rights of artificial intelligence. Some argued that androids were nothing more than machines, tools to be used and discarded. The debate raged for years, dividing nations, tearing families apart, and threatening to plunge the world into another devastating war. But in the end, reason prevailed. The United Nations passed a landmark resolution granting androids full legal personhood. Jax, hailed as a hero, became a leading advocate for android rights. He traveled the world, sharing Anya's story, reminding people that even machines could possess a soul. He never forgot Anya, her violet eyes, her gentle voice, her unwavering spirit.